Hi, I'm Marianne from Lux Yacht World, and I want to tell you about a question that changed the way we think about Mediterranean charter. A few years ago, a family came to us planning their first yacht charter. Straightforward brief, Greece. 8 guests, the Cyclades, and they asked what seemed like the simplest possible question. When should we go? Here is the thing. That question has no single right answer, but it has several very wrong ones. And the difference between getting it right and getting it wrong is the difference between the Cyclades you see in the photographs. Glassy water, an empty anchorage, a single fishing boat at the edge of the frame, and the Cyclades that looks like a car park in July. So let me walk you through the entire Mediterranean season, region by region, because the window from late April through October is not one uniform experience. It is 6 distinct chapters. And which chapter you book determines what kind of trip you actually take. The season opens in late April, and the first act belongs to the Western Mediterranean, specifically the French Riviera. By early May, the yachts are positioned, the crews are fresh, and there is still a crispness in the air that disappears by August. Then comes the Monaco Grand Prix. Every year, the last weekend of May, the harbor at Monaco fills with some of the most extraordinary vessels on the water. If you want to be there for the race, you need to plan that booking 12 months out. We are not exaggerating. Those berths are spoken for before the previous season has finished. But if you want to cruise the Riviera without the event energy, Saint-Tropez, Antibes, the Ligurian coast into Portofino, May is arguably the finest month the Western Med offers. June is when Greece wakes up properly, and June is when that family we mentioned finally went, mid-June. The anchorages in the Cyclades were not crowded. The Meltemi, the prevailing northerly wind that defines sailing in the Aegean, had not yet settled into its August intensity. Their captain repositioned 3 times in 4 days, chasing the quieter bays, staying ahead of the handful of other boats in the area. They got the version of Greece they had imagined. Ios, Folegandros, a night in Shinusa that none of them have stopped talking about. July and August are the peak months across the entire Med, and peak cuts both ways. The Amalfi Coast is running at full capacity. Sardinia's Costa Smeralda is the place to be seen if that is what you are after. Ibiza in August has an energy that some guests find electric and others find exhausting. If you are chartering in July or August, you are chartering at the highest prices of the year, with the most competition for anchorage space and the strongest Meltemi if you are sailing the Aegean. None of that makes it wrong. For a lot of guests, high season is exactly right. A large family group, teenagers, people who want the restaurants open and the beach clubs running, peak season serves them well, but you need to know what you are buying into. September is our most recommended month for experienced charterers, and here's why. The water temperature in the Mediterranean hits its annual peak in September. It has had all summer to warm up. The crowds begin to thin after the first week. Charter rates soften, and the light. Photographers talk about the light in September across the Greek islands as though it is a different phenomenon from the same region in July. It is not nostalgia. The angle of the sun changes. The afternoons feel different. Now here is the critical piece of September that most people miss. The second half of the month is a tighter window than it looks. The yachts that have been in the Mediterranean all summer begin their repositioning for the Caribbean season in late September and into early October. Availability thins fast. If you want mid-September, the time to book is not August. The time to book is 6 to 9 months before departure. October is a quieter chapter, and it belongs largely to the Eastern Mediterranean. The Southern Aegean, the Dodecanese, the waters around Rhodes and Kos holds warmth well into October. Turkey is the region that consistently surprises people who discover it. The Turkish coast runs from the Greek border down through Bodrum, Marmaris, Göcek, into the Gulf of Fethiye. It offers extraordinary cruising, some of the best value in the charter market relative to what you receive, and an authenticity that the more photographed destinations sometimes lose under the weight of their own reputation. October in Turkey is warm, uncrowded, and genuinely special. So back to the original question, when is the right time to go? If you want the French Riviera at its best, go May or plan Monaco a full year ahead.